Time for another game theory video. So remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks. So today I want to talk about great mistakes in the history of fighting games. Mistakes that serendipitously made the game better, if you will. The most cliche one that gets talked about is combos in Street Fighter 2. You know, these were not intended, but because of a unforeseen mistake, bug, glitch, whatever you want to call it, you could cancel your normals into a special move and thus combos were born, sorta, I guess. Personally, for me, I've always felt that the story is a little bit exaggerated, and although I mean it's plausible for me, I believe it is, real to an extent. I think it's a bit exaggerated because it's kind of hard for me to believe that Street Fighter 2 was really released, at least in that original form, and then it came out to arcades and people found combos, blah 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 blah, right? It's kind of like you're telling me that it just so happened serendipitously, coincidentally enough, that Ryu could cancel all his ducking normals, short, forward, roundhouse, jab, strong, fierce, all this kind of stuff. But Guile, coincidentally enough, he couldn't cancel his duck forward or his duck roundhouse or his duck fierce, etc., etc. So again, although I believe the story is true, yes, for me personally, I would assume it was actually found very early in the stages of the game, and then they twiddled with the speed of normals and everything like that, twiddled with what normal could be canceled and whatnot, etc. But in terms of the, fairy tale of, oh, hey, we released the game to the arcades and then, oh my God, wait, there's combos, whoopsie kind of thing, I guess we'll keep it in. It just seems a little bit too specific for me, if you get what I'm getting at. But on the topic of great mistakes in fighting game history, something I haven't seen anyone else talk about besides me in videos is, of course, DUSTS in the XX series. Another example of the kind of perfect storm that Guilty Gear had. Of it was a game made with a lot of goodwill, if you will, while having a lot of good luck of having bugs that actually made the game more fun and actually added depth to the game without breaking it. You know what I mean? It's not like something like faultless defense canceling, which is, I've said before, that is not a easily digestible bug or palatable to a, beginner audience, right? But DUS are, right? Because at a very, first glance on a very basic level, what are DUS? It's a universal overhead. We quickly realize that we can mash on buttons, you know what I mean, while we're doing a dust. It's, fun for everyone while not being too powerful. But then we get into the idea of impossible dust. Because of a bug in the game, if we hit the guy right before the screen gets all colorful and spazzy and sparkly, it puts the guy into an untackable state. And then now we can actually let the guy fall down and we can do a bigger combo, right? The community ended up calling these impossible dust, right? But think about what I said there for one split second, though. I can tell you in all honesty, to this fucking day, I have absolutely no fucking idea how many frames of Impossible Dust is, how many frames you have to do it, whatever, right? It doesn't matter all the tournaments I won, doesn't matter how many combo videos I've made for different games throughout the years. I have absolutely no fucking idea what the frame data is on Impossible Dust. The frame data is actually irrelevant. And doesn't that make this a even more beautiful mistake, so to speak? Because I often talk about the narrative in games and how it's important to have techniques in games that are easily digestible and palatable, right? Techniques that can be appreciated on all levels. Techniques that also, grow with you, the player, as your skill level grows. And that's actually what Dust do to Impossible Dust do because of this bug. DUS just so happened to be the perfect example of that. On the basic level, we have that easily understandable, mechanic. It's a universal overhead. We have this fun gimmick of being able to mash. You know what I mean? All parties involved understand what is going on. But as we, the players, start to get better, and as we, learn about this bug in the game, we learn that we could do, some more damage with this impossible dust thing. And we don't need to, there's no counting frames, no frame data this, frame data that. It's easy to understand. It's just like, hey, dude, just, you hit the guy before the screen starts to get flashy and the bug will work. Great. Sweet, dude, right? It's a great example of, as well, of letting a game marinate and becoming its own beast. A bug that, might not even exist in today's day and age, with all this constant patching in and out of everything, right? A bug that only makes the game more fun, more quirky, more interesting. A bug that doesn't break the game. And it's a bug that, again, is easily understandable as you, the player, get into the game and progress, right? Anyway, again, I always feel like anytime someone mentions this topic, they just say, oh, Street Fighter 2. Which, again, Street Fighter 2, I believe it's true, right? Street Fighter 2 is true, blah, blah, blah. But I do think it's a bit of a fairy tale and exaggerated that it just so happened like that. I guess it could have, but you know what I mean? I think there's a bit of, sprinkling of fairy dust on the story, to be honest, right? But in terms of dust of Guilty Gear, you know what I mean? I think dusts are a great example of, hey, we know what this is doing. You know what I mean? An easily digestible mechanic, right? And then like there's like, oh, there's this bug. Oh fuck, it just made the game better, right? And when I talk about these kind of concepts and game theory videos of demonstrating narrative, having techniques that the casual player to the more advanced player can all appreciate on some level, while again being easily digestible and palatable to everyone, right? That's why Dust is perfect for this. Anyway, remember if you like the videos, like, sub, certainly comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks. The end.